Okay, right. Jane White and Jim White started the Kleeneze back in September 1997. Jane was a bank manager with the Clydesdale, so you can all get on to her at the break. And Jim was a heavy goods driver. The reason he joined Kleeneze was to replace Jim's income. But poor old Jim's still having to work, and Jane's doing Kleeneze part. It's ridiculous. Just kidding. Was to no, I'm actually not liking the feedback. Was to replace Jim's income. The bronze executives, their best income checks 2,400. They've qualified for trips to Monte Carlo and Sydney. And there's absolutely amazing leaders in our business, and their business is starting to surge forward. So with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce Jane White.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I remember to turn the head and the mic at the same time. As Lynn said, why would we do parties? We've been in the business for 14 years. We have a good customer base. So why would we do parties? Well, hopefully I'll let you see why we did parties, or why we decided to do parties. Lynn mentioned we've got a well-established customer base, and we do update that customer base consistently. We've always worked our customer base on a part-time basis. We did see, and it was for Jim, we saw a newspaper story about Lynn. She was earning £10,000 a month at the time, and I remember thinking, if it's just catalogues, there's no way I'm going to do it. I don't want to trudge the street with catalogues. And that was how I felt. However, Jim was looking for something that would take him away from driving, because at that time he was working 12-hour shifts with a tanker company. It was back shift, day shift. He wasn't getting very much sleep, so his body clock started to shut down, as it does. So I knew that really Jim needed out of it, and I said I would help him. But what we discovered every second week was I was on my own, because he was working. So therefore, there was nobody else to do the catalogues. And by that time, we had paid for them, and I was blinking sure they weren't going to stay in the house, because they weren't making any money. But the only reason we looked at it was because we saw there was more than just catalogues. But the great thing is, you can do with those catalogues whatever you choose. So we still only work our customer base on a very part-time basis. If I don't talk too much, it doesn't take too much time. However, 5 minutes for every customer. I only do 72 catalogues a week. I don't spend 5 minutes with every customer. Jim will probably say, nonsense, Jane, you do. But we are happy with the amount of retail we do. And that was what I said, but I don't want to do anymore. I'm quite happy with what I do. I get to go and see my grandchildren. I get to go and meet my daughter. I've got a life. And to me, that was very, very important. So yes, 10,000, 15,000, that's also important. But the amount of money we earn gives us a life. And that was much more important for me. I'm not a salesperson. Lynn laughs at that, because you see, in the bank, yes, I probably did sell. However, I sold to a need. I didn't sit someone down, lock the door, and only let them out once they had taken one of those insurance products that you're all getting your money back for now. But guess what? Not one of my customers will get their money back, because I never sold them in the first place. I never ever saw what it was going to fulfill, and if there wasn't a need there, they didn't get it. So I suppose, yes, I did sell, but. So why did I change my mind? Well, if you've listened to Jim and Lynn, both of them together, that's why I changed my mind. I got fed up. Sorry, I'm a son in front of the screen. Sorry. So they were adamant it was a good idea, but you see, they both thought it was a good idea. But guess what? I knew it was me that was going to have to do it. So, you know, everybody's got great ideas, but it comes down to Joe Soap. However, I didn't want to do catalogues either. I remember the first time Jim went out, and I can assure you it was Jim. I said, oh no, if we're doing our street, it's your idea, you do it. I'm not doing it. I went to total strangers, happily. I wasn't doing my street, not at all. And I didn't do it for about the first 3 months. Then I did do it, but it was Jim who did our street, and he got good orders. He smiles at people. When people ask his opinion, he tells them what they want to hear, because he's very diplomatic that way. I now ask my neighbours, do you want my opinion, or do you want to hear what I actually think? But I had to learn that as well. So why would we do kit parties? We wanted to build a business. I already said that to you. It was always the networking that I knew would get us to where we wanted to be. So I also knew, though, that it would appeal to quite a different range of people. The people that I spoke to about catalogues who didn't want to do it, they might well want to do parties. It's a very social exercise, and it doesn't seem like work. I mean, come on, standing in front of people for, you know, in amongst people for a couple hours. I'm not a particular, I like one-on-one. I'm not a great group person. It's not my forte. However, it doesn't honestly seem like work. There's no physical effort. Again, that can appeal to quite a different set of people who perhaps for some reason aren't able to put in the physical effort with the catalogues that initially you have to do. And it's a house meeting arranged by somebody else. That's what it is. As I said earlier, it's a different atmosphere, so you're getting a different reaction. You know, people are there, they know why you're there, they're there to talk to you. They're relaxed, they're having a drink. We didn't do teas and coffees. It was wine, and it was wine. I just didn't have any. I had a glass sitting beside me in case of emergencies. I thought, that's my backup. To hang with a glass of water in case your mouth went dry. I thought, no, that's my backup. And it was a new reason to talk to all our family, our friends, and our customers about the business. Because if you've been in 14 years, let's face it, they forget the reason why you're doing it in the first place. And you don't want to, our customer base is very good to us, they're loyal, and they give us a good level of income every week. We pick up about £1,400 of retail every 4 weeks from our 72 customers a week. I think they support us really well. I don't like to be too much in their face. I like to just, you know, treat them with respect, if you like. But this was another reason for me to talk to them again. We could also go back to the prospects that we had spoken to in the past. As I said, not everybody wanted to do catalogues. It was a different age group as well. Some people maybe in their 20s who don't remember the Tupperware, the Pippity. They're into Party Light, candles, Pamper Chef, both of which are really expensive. Very good. I'm not suggesting they're not, but they're also very expensive.